the station, its management, or Beasley Media Group.
Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Monday, April 4th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio, 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and maybe YouTube. I don't know, they keep knocking me off, so who knows. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media by searching Larry Steinhouse. Hey, just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to try to subscribe to the YouTube channel, I don't know, and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. Hey, Charles, you're the first person to check in. Thank you. By the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up on my dashboard, so please go to the Money Chat Now page and comment there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and of course you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. And there you will learn about real estate investing, you will learn about stock options trading, and you'll learn about it from those who do it every day. Hey Lewis, how are you, my friend? Thank you for watching. All right. On today's show, we're going to be talking about the futures update. We're going to be talking about woke Disney, the marijuana bill, and home energy funding. All right, let's get into this. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the futures. So, a new month and a new outlook on the market. The Dow finished up about 140 points as the rally continues. To the money managers, the war is just an afterthought at this point. It's kind of sad, but it's a reality. Oil prices are also moving down below $100 a barrel as Biden releases the reserves. We talked about it last week. I don't know if you guys remember, but the reserves are there to be used for a catastrophic emergency and not to be used just for lower oil prices. Look, Biden using the reserve is extremely risky. It could leave the U.S. without any oil reserve, and it could end up costing us more in oil prices and in no way solve the problem. It is a bad idea, but it could work out, assuming the war ends soon and everything goes back to normal. Of course, the best course is to drill here in the United States. That would solve all the problems in the future. But the jobs report came out on Friday, and we added about 431,000 jobs, which was short of 490,000 jobs that was expected. And look, as long as we continue to have more job openings than employees, things will be good. However, I don't see that lasting long. The Great Resignation is slowing, and frankly, with all the free money and get-rich-quick ideas that worked in the past few years, with them all drying up, the unrealistic expectations of not needing a job will end and people will need to go back to work. At the same time, companies will be making less money and reducing staff. It's going to be a big problem for many. Chinese company stocks are actually starting to move up again as the Chinese are starting to allow the sharing of financial information with foreign regulators. Personally, I think Jinping has learned that his buddy Putin is too much for him, and he's going back on some of China's regulations and possibly allowing his ego to deflate enough to allow capitalism to make a comeback. I'm still thinking it's going to be a great month, by the way, and I really do. All right, look, we'll be okay for any opportunity to jump in, and stocks will rise before earnings. So as the stocks start to lower, jump in, take any opportunity. I will mention some at the end of the show. Or listen, earnings season will kick off next week, and we may get a down day enough this week to enter. We also had the 2 and the 10-year bond yields invert last week, and this is sometimes a precursor to a recession. We know it's coming, it's just a matter of when. The Fed will make announcements this week as well, and I expect another interest rate hike. All right, let's take a look at the market, and we can actually see right here that the Dow is up 8.47, the S&P is up 6.98, and the NASDAQ is up 61. So it's not bad at all. All right, let's talk about woke Disney. Do you remember when Disney was all about making people happy? Look, Disneyland's trademark slogan was the happiest place on earth, while Disney World was the most magical place on earth, and on top of that, the slogan for all the Disney parks was where dreams come true. Well, it appears that Disney Corporation has found itself in the midst of a dilemma. they've gone from the happiest place on earth to the gayest place on earth. It appears the employees at Disney have decided their woke agenda is more important than jobs or the people who visit their park. The woke crowd has infiltrated Disney like a cancer. For those who haven't heard the term or still struggle with the term woke, Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines it as an alert to injustice in society, especially racism. I'm woke, oh! Well, the woke crowd, the people who tore down statues, fired Aunt Jemima and fired Uncle Ben, and even took the Indian off Land O'Lakes, are demanding that children be allowed to be exposed to the left-wing porn syndication. Let's bring you back to the beginning of all the trouble. Ron DeSantis, the last great American governor, recently passed a bill, which was the HB 1557, known to the ignorant as the Don't Say Gay bill, which basically keeps teachers from teaching or indoctrinating children about gender identity and sexual orientation in kindergarten through third grade. My nickname for this bill would be the Let Children Be Children bill. Most children in third grade are more concerned about what school supplies they need for school and remembering their homework than thinking about chopping off their private parts to become another gender. These children from 5 to 9 years old should not be taught about sex or sexual orientation. They're too impressionable at that age. The bill, which was actually called the Parental Rights and Education Bill, which simply states that parents should be in charge of what their children are exposed to. And this includes things like critical race theory and sexual orientation. Yes, parents who oppose this bill, go right ahead and teach your children anything you want, but just don't expose my children to it or other people's children to it. That's what the bill states. So, getting back to Disney and the woke employees, Disney employees, at least the woke ones, are demanding this bill be overturned. Along with that, they're also demanding that Disney have at least 50% of their movies with gay couples and characters, including trans and gender reassigned people. I mean, what the hell? What happens? Woody chops off his Woody? I don't understand. The new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, promised to work to overturn Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis' so-called, which they're calling it the Don't Say Gay bill, and apologize to the LBQDQQRQXRIYZ anyway community for not being a stronger ally in the fight for equal rights. Evil rights, yeah, that actually makes sense. Who the hell does he think he is? He's going to overturn the bill? Go back to making Disney a happy place again. Stop being a left-wing liberal woke Democrat. Are you trying to please your employees, your stockholders, or yourself? Because you're losing on all fronts with this action. He didn't say anything while the bill was being presented. He only made a statement that his employees when his employees decided to walk off the job recently to protest the bill. Walk off the job? This is Disney World, not the government. Well, the woke crowd and the ridiculous statement of the new woke CEO is having repercussions on the company. Many families are now boycotting Disney, canceling Disney Plus, and will no longer expose their children to the propaganda machine called Disney. Major Disney shareholders are getting angry. Ray Keating, an economist and editor of Disney Biz Journal, said when companies dive into politics, it rarely turns out well. Well, here's a suggestion for Disney CEO Bob Chapek, he said. Get back to business, that is, excellence in storytelling, and stop wasting shareholders' money on political crusades that have nothing to do with Disney's business, is what he said. Well, this is certainly no longer a Mickey Mouse company. It has become a company of indoctrination and propaganda. Walt Disney is probably turning over in his grave, unless, of course, the rumor of his cryogenic body is true. Then his blood is boiling and he will soon defrost. Well, as the country starts to put the brakes on the agenda of the woke, Disney will be leading the woke crowd. The stock has been falling since the time of all this happened. However, I got to be honest with you, I don't see it as a direct correlation between the two yet. We may see that happen in the next few weeks. And once again, as a stock options trader, watch this to happen because it's actually an opportunity to buy the stock. Eventually, it'll be forgotten like everything else that gets forgotten in this world. It's so many things we've forgotten. And these are the things that led us to this problem that we are in history right now anyway. Unbelievable. Hey, look, I want to take this opportunity to remind you of our Finances and Freedom event coming up on April 24th. And look, this event's gonna have other freedom fighters like myself to help you learn how you can save your freedom and how you can get new techniques to save your finances as well. Doug Mastriano, who led the fight in PA for no masks on children, will be there to tell you his story about how he's running for governor. Bill Spadia, New Jersey's #1 radio host, also led the fight for no masks. He'll also be there to discuss how he fought for freedom in New Jersey. I'll be there teaching you how to buy properties and make enormous cash flow. I'll also teach you stock options trading while you're there. Hey, look, you need to register for this event right now before it's all sold out. Go to 4mmw.com. That's 4mmw.com to register. Look, and you want to learn, you want to learn, you want to learn. All right, take a look at this commercial and you can learn how to buy houses. Investor schooling needs a new slogan.
Investor schooling? Never heard of.
Investor schooling?
Never heard of it.
Investor schooling? Never heard of them.
Any suggestions? Phil?
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either.
Investor Schooling. We never heard of you either. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And if you'd like more information so you could find out who we are, because you never heard of us either, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn how to make more money. Hit that like button. Let me know you enjoy the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them. Hey, I want to say hello to a couple of people online who have joined us. I want to say hello to Mick and Mark and Ken and Jose. And I love it. Michael says, educate, don't indoctrinate. He's exactly right. We just did that entire segment on woke Disney, and that's exactly right. Hey, let's talk real quick about the futures right now. The futures right now on my board say that, let's see, where are we here? It actually say that the Dow is up 4.46, the S&P is up 6, and the NASDAQ is up 54. All right, coming up, we have the marijuana bill, and we have home efficiency funding. And then, of course, we have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? If you're watching online, hit that like button. Did you hear that share button yet? Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure to set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home, and let me know what you think of the show. And look, before we start the second half, we all know that a new financial situation is coming. Look, is it going to be a recession, or is it going to be a downturn? Well, if you want to survive through it, you should order my new book. Go to barnesandnoble.com and look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Pre-order it, and I promise you're going to learn something. It has great reviews from the people who got an advanced copy of the book, and you're definitely going to learn something that will help you make money from this book. It's $20. Order the book. You'll enjoy it. It's a really great book. Hey, I want to say hello to Tommy, who just Investor Schooling, and also Harold, who just joined us online. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into the second half. Let's talk about the marijuana bill. Hey, are you ready to get high? All right, man. Well, man, pretty soon you'll be able to do just that, man. It'll be awesome. Wow. Yeah, man. All right, on Friday, the House passed legislation that would legalize marijuana nationwide, eliminating criminal penalties for anyone who manufactures, distributes, or possesses the substance. The bill would also establish procedures for expunging previous convictions from people's records and impose a tax on the sale of cannabis products. A tax? Oh, now I get it. It's the old, if you can't beat 'em, joint 'em. The tax imposed will be a 5 to 8%, and it'll be collected at the sale of pot. By the way, Drunken Pelosi said this landmark legislation is one of the most important criminal justice reform bills in recent history. This is what she's proud of? Unbelievable. Look, it really doesn't matter if you're for or against the bill or against people smoking pot or not, but this is what she calls the most important criminal justice reform bill in recent history? By the way, Pelosi also said that the legislation would deliver justice for those harmed by the brutal, unfair consequences of criminalization, open opportunities for people to participate in the industry, and decriminalize pot at the federal level so we don't repeat the grave mistakes of our past. Is she crazy? Oh wait, she clearly is. Look, maybe we should have her pass another one, called the Nobody Ever Goes to Jail bill. Oh wait, actually I think she already did that in California. Oh, and we're seeing how that's turning out. The woke seriously need to be awakened. Anyway, pot will soon be legal everywhere. And it was inevitable, by the way. The marijuana companies saw some stocks rise in the news, but I don't like this sector. It's down more than 70% in some of the companies, and I don't know, I'm going to kind of look at it again when sales start flowing after it becomes official, because I'm not that big of a fan of it right now. All right, let's talk about home efficiency funding. The Biden administration on Wednesday announced new plans to spend $3.16 billion to retrofit hundreds of thousands of homes in low-income areas, with the goal of making them more energy efficient while also lowering utility bills for Americans. The investment comes from President Poopy Pants's $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill that was signed into law last year. It'll bolster the government's weatherization assistance program, WAP, I guess, right? Which is designed to upgrade homes by installing insulation, upgrading heating and cooling systems, and of course switching to new electrical appliances, among other things. All right, I really do like the idea. But once again, it sounds altruistic, but it's unrealistic. Let me explain how this has worked in the past. The homeowner, and you probably remember this, would get a call from a cold caller who worked for a company that got grants for installing and adding energy-efficient items to a home. Some of you must remember this. It was pretty popular in the late 1990s and the early 2000s. Like, I had this service done once, and basically they put outlet covers on my outlets and wrapped my water heater with a blanket. Anyone else remember this? Look, here's the problem with this. I would get calls from my tenants explaining that they got a call from one of these companies, and because the landlord would need to give permission, the tenant asked me to be at the presentation. I politely refused and tell him just send me over the proposal. Well, you know what happened next, of course. The people who were doing this said I had to be there, and I said I'm not going to be there, so they didn't send me the proposal, so nothing happened. The other problem is that someone would have to take the day off to be there when the installers came into the property. It's so unrealistic. I mean, you got people who live in paycheck to paycheck, and they're going to take a day off just so they could save $5 a month on their heating system? I don't think so. But like I said, I'm kind of all for the idea. But I also believe the industry is making houses more efficient, and that will be a great industry to invest in, by the way. And when it starts up again, I would jump all over these companies. I just don't see it solving the energy crisis. New homes will be built made with more efficiency, and that's the place where the bill needs to change the future of energy efficiency. Only we don't need $3 billion from the government to do this. $3 million, I'm sorry. It'll also be built into the price of new homes. Look for these companies to emerge the next year or two. If you're looking for a good business to start, by the way, this might be a really great place to look. I don't know if there's any franchises on this, but if there's some franchises on this, this will be really, really good. I like it. All right, let's go. Let's take a quick break, and we'll see you on the other side.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling?
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling?
Those guys are everywhere.
Investors guys are everywhere. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Please join us Mondays and Saturdays at 2 on WWDB for Investor Schooling Live.
What happened?
And stock options trading professionals Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse. This is the show and the school you've been waiting for. Listen to the radio show on WWDB Mondays and Saturdays at 2 p.m. or register for one of our free Thursday night classes at investorschooling.com. Go register at investorschooling.com right now.
This is Dr. Charles Pigeon, inviting you to tune in to Your Personal Reality. I have a PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry from the University of California, San Francisco. We will explore your mind and consciousness based on science. We'll discuss topics such as socially navigating, evolution, brain science, theory of mind, human sensory systems, embodied cognition, and more. Tune in to get a better understanding of your life right here on WWDB.
Your Personal Reality, Saturday mornings at 7:30.
And that's what
At
happens
Affordable
when you
Dentures
provide
and
shows,
Implants,
things like
that moment when we see a patient smile is everything to us. And we're proud to have helped millions of patients improve their smiles through affordable tooth replacement options. So, whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, Affordable Dentures and Implants is here to help you. Go ahead and smile. I'm New Mountain.
Back. You guys hear me now online? That's awesome. All right, let's get back to this. Hey, by the way, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, sorry about that. We lost our mic. But let me talk to you about what's going on right now. We're going to be talking about some great stuff for today. Earnings season kicks off next week with banks, and that means investors will be placing their bets on bank stocks. They'll be betting both long and short, and that means the price of stocks will start to rise in the next week. JP Morgan has a dividend paying today, and the earnings are next week. Typically, when a stock pays a dividend, the stock drops because the investors take the dividend and then sell the stock. That makes it a buying opportunity into the earnings. And basically, that's going to be really great because the earnings are next week on the 13th. Wells Fargo and Bank of America are just days apart. And I've said before, if the bank stocks are good, they will set the tone for earnings season. And look, let's hope that works. Let's hope that they do. All right, I have all the tech sector stocks announcing the end of the month, and Meta is a play. However, I got to tell you, it's a cautious play. Meta tanked last earnings announcement, and when the company invested too much money in the metaverse, their ad revenue when the company invested too much in the metaverse, basically what happened was they lost money. Oh, look, their ad revenue also was down because of the new privacy settings placed on Apple iPhones. I still like the airline stocks. I tried to book a flight for a trip at the end of the month, and the plane was mostly full. That means that people are traveling again. Hey, as long as Gestapo Joe's mask mandates end, the industry will bounce back nicely. Twitter, for you guys who didn't know, took off this morning when Elon Musk took a 9% ownership in the company. Wow, I got to tell you, that's really wild news. I'm really wondering if he's going to be able to dictate policy and get Trump back on. That would be pretty neat, wouldn't it? All right, so let's take a look at the futures one last time. Right now, we got the Dow up 5.47. We got the S&P up 6, and we have the NASDAQ up about 53. Look, there's really nothing really going on much in crypto right now. Bitcoin is just under 48,000. Now, I do have to say that when I started saying that crypto wasn't going to move much, and it didn't move much, but it moved, right? It went from 38,000 to 48,000. That's pretty good. And Ether is about 3,400 again, and it was as low as 27. So that's also a good move. I just don't think that Bitcoin and Ether are going to hit these numbers that they were hitting before, like 60 and 70,000. I mean, for Bitcoin. So we'll see. It may happen. It may not happen. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's talk about gold and silver. Gold and silver, really nothing happening here. But by the way, my guess is silver is going to move up next few days only because my monthly scheduled buy is about to happen. So you guys know I buy at least 500 ounces of silver every month, and I buy it always right at the middle of the month. And it always happens to be the time that the thing goes up. I think it's a scam. I think they know when I'm buying it. Anyway, the Treasury bond is just over 2.4%, and I'm going to say, let's take a guess on what day you think it's going to hit 3. Everybody, tell me what day you think it's going to hit 3. Oil is under $100 a barrel, and I believe it's going to move down a bit more. All right, so a couple of things real quick to talk about. First of all, don't forget that I've been telling you about a great event we're going to be hosting in the Washington Crossing Inn in Bucks County. It's a Finances and Freedom event along with myself. We have the outspoken Bill Spadea as a keynote speaker, and we've also added Doug Mastriano as another keynote speaker. Look, this is going to be a great event. Doug's story will mesmerize you as a leading contender in the governor's race for Pennsylvania, and you'll want to be at this event to shake his hand and wish him luck. Hey, come on. You get a picture with him. He becomes the governor. It'd be pretty cool to put on Facebook, right? Go to 4mmw.com, 4mmw.com, and register for the event before the price increase, and it's because it's going to sell out fast. So I'll tell you right now, let's do it. Get there, right? I also want to thank the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And, of course, if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. You can leave comments on the WWDB fan page, or you can look for us online. My name is Larry Steinhouse, and I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I'm also the CEO of Investor Schooling. I also want to let you guys know that from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in the show, and the opinions discussed in the show is solely mine, and no one's asked me to discuss them. Hey, I want to also see if there's anything else. Listen, you guys buy my book yet? Did you guys order my book yet? Come on, if you watch this show every day and you haven't ordered my book yet, I'm so disappointed. So my book is called Money Hacks, and it's because everything you think you know about money is wrong, and I promise you when you order this book, you're going to learn a lot about money. I have things in this book that will make your head spin about how to actually make money by going into debt. I have topics in this book about how to save tax money. Unless you really like to pay taxes, I suggest you buy this book for the whole $20. Order it and make sure you learn about how to save money and how to save taxes, and you'll be able to save those taxes. Don't forget to go to investorschooling.com and sign up for this Thursday night. You sign up for class this Thursday night. You'll learn about stock options trading, and you'll learn about real estate investing from those who do it every day. I'm going to cut this show a minute short. Have a profitable day.